Alright, everybody, welcome back. So I did finish some off-cam grinding. I can show you where we're at with everybody. Morbo is currently a thief, doing pretty well. Heinlein is set up as a monk. Monk's clearly not a lot of equipment for them, but he's got this attack stat of 15. Or physical attack stat makes him pretty devastating. Anselm is a dragoon or lancer from the original. Currently don't have a weapon for him just because there's none at this point of the game. I could kind of get around that by giving him the ability to equip swords or axes, but he also has a 13 physical attack, so he'll be doing just fine barehanded. I have my white mage, Imelda. You can see they all have the same abilities equipped. Fundaments as their secondary, Adrenaline Rush as their reaction, JP boost, and Move +1 is kind of like passive buffs. That is kind of my go-to build for just general combat. They're super useful abilities. And you can see they all have slightly higher stats than Delita, or slightly higher speed than Delita and Argith, because they leveled up as a thief for a lot of the grinding, and thieves grow speed stat faster than any other class I have right now. So I always try to make sure they level up as thieves and either monks or knights to boost their physical attack. So that's where we're at now. Everybody's got some decent gear, with the exception of Anselm's weapon. And everybody has learned quite a few abilities. I did a lot of grinding to master 6 classes on each of them at this point. So they have all of the black magic, but probably don't have the mana necessary to cast most of those. The important ones for me... Sorry, there we go. The important ones for me are in the Archer class. I can't actually showcase the abilities that are there. Yeah, there we go. So the two big ones are Adrenaline Rush, which has a chance to increase your speed every time you lose HP, and Concentration makes attacks unblockable. So those are both super useful. And then the Squire JP boost and Move +1. Actually, hold on a second. Yeah, I forgot that I had mastered the Thief on everybody as well. So, kind of handicapping myself by accident there. But now we can move on with the story, because I put in like 4 or 5 hours off screen grinding all these abilities out. You can see now the reason why I abandoned those other 2 recruits we had. So when I'm just doing the grinding kind of stuff, the general combat where there's not a required party member, you typically get to place 5 units. So having, the standard 5 units as opposed to 7, I don't have to rotate people around. But I can kind of give you the quick rundown of how I did all my grinding. We're not going to go through the full process again, because that was the whole point of doing it off screen. But this is pretty much it. Everybody has the Fundaments, or in Morbo's case, Metal secondary ability. which means they get to use abilities like Focus. Whoops. And that means every turn they earn experience and job points. Which is, that's the whole point. And I typically start off a fight by just letting the enemies move towards me. And then once they kind of get into range, I'll take out the fastest units first, the units with the highest speed, so in this case, the Goblin. And then after those fast units have been downed, I'll usually leave one alive, and then just kind of retreat and return to my cycle of using Focus to earn job points. And then all of the enemies that I've downed turn into crystals or treasure chests. And I end up just kind of being able to run away and indefinitely gain experience and job points while I'm waiting for everybody to turn into those useful resources. We're not going to do that on this fight, though. I'm pretty much just going to take them out as soon as they're all in range. But that's the quick rundown. You can see the boost to physical attack on Heinlein tremendously makes up for his lack of a weapon. Whereas, Morbow's hitting for 32 damage at the moment. Heinlein's hitting for over 200. But yeah, that was the grind for about, like I said, 4 or 5 hours. And then I needed a little bit of a break from Final Fantasy Tactics because I do love this game, but 4 or 5 hours of the same thing that can wear on you pretty quickly. Well, I mean, maybe not pretty quickly. It usually takes about 4 or 5 hours. But I think you know what I mean. But yeah, everybody is now a much higher level than the upcoming story fights that we'll be in, and has mastered a ton of abilities that normally wouldn't be available. Oh, something important to note about the kind of level up process. Even doing all this, you can see that the job points and experience points awarded after each kind of action vary a little bit. So the job points you earn are based on your current job's level. So once you reach level 8 in a job, you earn the maximum amount. And the experience you earn from taking an action depends on the level of the unit you're targeting with that action. So if you're targeting somebody who's the same level as you, you get 10 experience. If they're a lower level, you get less experience. If they're a higher level, you get more. So every ability that targets yourself gives you 10 experience points. So that's another effective way of kind of leveling up, because you always get the same amount of experience. You're not, worried about the level of the opponents you're up against. But that works out, because now everybody should have a little bit of extra resources to learn some new abilities, because I didn't go in and give them anything on their new classes. Well, I got the important get all 3. Alright, those two classes are now super, super useful, especially for the kind of grinding I was doing. Because Immobilize means I can just not worry about an enemy. Alright. Sorry, Anselm, you're gonna have to sit this one out, despite the fact that I like you the most. But now we can move on with the story, and not have to rely on that overpowered equipment I gave myself, which I now no longer have access to. Now we can return to just a legitimate playthrough that will proceed smoothly through the story, hopefully. I said I know naught of it! Do not speak false to me. I know what you've done. Where is Gustav? I will have it from you one way or another. I don't know. What of the Marquis? Where have you hidden him? Tell me! Or I'll crack the bones in your neck. I think that noise is supposed to be like the leather kind of rubbing against itself, but it always sounds like crack. I will not ask again. Where are they? The desert! They're in the desert! The Sandrat Sietch. I guess that's pronounced Sietch. If I remember correctly, that was Sandrat Cellar in the PlayStation version. Or PlayStation 1 version. The Order's swords. My luck turns foul with the weather. Oh, it's raining. Ooh. It seems we did well to come here. Have I not seen that man before? You know him, Delita? I have seen his face. I'm sure of it. It was at Egros, just after the war's end. You'll pardon me my misgivings, but this has not the look of any joyous reunion. To arms! So quippy, Morbo. Alright, so this fight always bothered me. I shouldn't say it bothered me. It frustrated me in the sense that at this point in the game, you can't buy a regular bow. The only bow you can buy is a crossbow, which doesn't gain any advantages from elevation. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super worried about this fight as far as like winning or losing. I'm gonna let Delita and Argith do their thing, and just focus on my kind of JP grind again. And I'm also gonna let Morbo run around and hopefully steal a bunch of shit. Hopefully he hasn't moved too far away. Nope, he has. Well, that's annoying. But that's another reason I like having Morbo as a thief, because aside from the fact that it has a higher speed stat than most other classes and has that speed growth, you can also steal equipment in fights like these, so enemies that have, you know, gear I actually want, or gear I don't want to, you know, spend money on, I can just take it from them. I also should have unequipped Delita and Argith so they didn't end up killing units faster than I'd like. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you're on board with me, like, dragging fights out so that I can get, you know, the best gear and the best results, or if you're, if you prefer I just kind of treat it more like an actual fight where my motivation is to win as quickly as possible and take as little risk. For a like completionist playthrough, alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. The success rate of the steal ability is tied to the difference in your speed. Alright, the success rate of the steal ability is tied to the difference between your character's speed and the target's speed. So having a character like Morbo who can boost his own speed is super helpful as far as stealing stuff. Which is, the other reason I really like having him as a thief. Can I? Okay. But also, it's just nice because he gets to run around and be all agile and quick. And if I end up in a situation where he needs to really hit hard, I can boost his speed early and then use focus to boost his physical attack. So, speed is a top priority stat in this game. For anybody who's considering their own playthrough, pretty much always focus on speed. It not only determines how many turns you get, but also a lot of other kind of strategic efforts rely on that stat. You can see my success rate went up to 40 just by increasing my speed by 1. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, or I didn't get lucky and steal his bow. But I'm pretty sure... I should actually take a look at that. Don't know, like, try to steal a bow I can just buy or already own. Alright, so so he has a longbow, which is currently unavailable for me. Not something I can purchase myself. Oh, that's a shame. And that's why having an archer up here with the longbow is... that's a shame. Really, really beneficial to the enemy, because the longbow specifically, or like the actual kind of bow weapons, they get a range boost based on elevation. So that's how you end up with the archer basically being able to target most of the map on this fight. And my archers don't have that weapon. They have a fixed ranged kind of crossbow. I do feel like this fight is going to drag out if I don't if I try to like steal everything, which I would do if I were playing just solo. And I don't want to put an audience through that. That sounds really boring for you guys. I'll try to steal one bow, and then once that's done, I will just kill everybody. Alright. Getting real tired of my terrible luck. I am probably just going to start focusing on boosting Morbo's speed instead of trying to steal with low chances. And because, each turn I'm boosting his speed a little bit, it will compound and I'll get more turns and then boost my speed in those turns. Alright, good work, Delita. You took away my target. Right, I shouldn't have I should have just attacked with that guy, but whatever. Alright. So the other thing I could do, and I think I showed this earlier, I can go through the unit list and look at all of my opponent's gear. So this guy was the one who just died. This guy has the bow gun, which is the stuff that I currently can use. He also has a buckler, which is better than the shields I can purchase at the moment. But the longbow and that buckler were the two items that I wanted to steal in this fight, just because I can't buy them yet, and they're better than my current gear. That's okay. Also, I hope I'm focusing on the right archer. I should have checked that. We'll find out. I am not. So this one just gets murdered. I'll let Delita or Argith get in there and hit them if they need to. Yeah. Yeah. Good work, Argith. So you can see Argith earned 20 experience from that because he was ineligible to participate in those previous fights that I did while grinding. So he stayed at the same level. And now we've reached a point in the story where he's fighting enemies who are higher level than him. I am taking a pretty solid amount of damage here. I should probably take out the enemies I don't care to steal from. That'll work. Oh no! Whoops, I targeted the unit instead of the panel. That is a nice little benefit for these attacks or abilities that use charge time. You can either lock it onto the specific unit you're targeting. Alright, good enough. Or the panel you're targeting. So if I hadn't targeted a corpse and they decided to move after I targeted them, oh, this dickbag is standing in a position where I can't steal from him. Don't appreciate that. Alright, you retreat. Boost your physical attack again. You break my gear. Alright, that's okay. Alright. That whole explanation took a little bit longer than I was expecting it to. So we're pretty much like at an episode already. But I'll finish out this fight. We'll do a little conversation at the end, and then move on to the next episode. Yeah, I hope you at least kind of appreciated the rundown of the strategy that I used for my grinding and then my approach to this fight. These episodes feel like they go by really fast and like there's not a lot of content to them, so I apologize for that if you feel the same way. But I don't want to, release an episode that requires you to sit and watch for, the hour or two that our podcast episodes do as well. Trying to create a little bit more short form content. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you would prefer a different episode length or something along those lines. But yeah, mostly I'm just trying to showcase 22%. You suck. Alright, there's another tool that you can use in your quest to steal stuff in this game that I haven't mentioned. So I've unlocked the Knight class and mastered that on most of my characters, with the exception of the guests. That Knight class has an ability called Rend Speed, I believe. Yay! We got lucky finally. And that will, as the name suggests, reduce an opponent's speed, so that can also kind of help you with the speed differential that is tied to your steal success rate. But again, boosting your own speed seems like a much more advantageous maneuver, so I tend to focus on that, and that's why Ramza gets metal instead of the Knight ability. If I drag this out just a little bit longer, there's a chance that that archer with the longbow turns into a treasure chest. Sucker. Hempen rope. I didn't even know he had that. That's not an item I can purchase. Probably should have paid more attention to that. Oh, we turned into a crystal. Oh, that's a shame. Well, not a huge deal. We will, we'll just finish out the fight then and miss out on a free longbow. Just double check. Do you have any other gear that's... Okay, no. I just overlooked the hempen robe. So that was just kind of a lucky accident that I stumbled into stealing another item I can't purchase yet. Although I think after this battle is over, I might be able to purchase it. Ooh, iron sword and hempen robe. Good new gear. Alright, let's wrap up this episode with a little bit of story. We know you're of the brigade. There's no use hiding it. Out with it. What have you done with the Marquis? Where are you holding him? You were with your commander, Vigriff, when we came upon you. Where has he gone? I hope that's how you pronounce his name. Mayhap a beating would loosen your tongue. Kick. Enough, Argith. Listen well. A great host with the Order at its van prepares a sweeping campaign that will bring to book your Turncloak Brigade. You will die, you will be hunted down to the last and slaughtered like the swine you are, for such is brigandry's reward. But you, pig, are a lucky one. Tell us what we wish to know, and you may yet keep your bacon. So where is Vigriff? How the bloody hell should I know? Argith, kick! I'll not bear your ribald tongue, rogue. Learn to guard it if you'd not have it cut from your throat. If you cut out his tongue, he won't be able to tell us information. I am no rogue. Tell that to the man you've robbed. You nobles are all the same. You think every man born outside a castle's walls less than human. We fought for this kingdom at peril of our very lives, yet the moment the war was ended, you turned us out into the streets. What do you think makes you so special? Birth? Blood? What difference does it make? You kidnap men for ransom, then dare ask the difference between us? No, the Marquis' kidnapping was no plan of Vigriff's. Quizzical look. He would never hold a man for ransom. Then who? Someone kidnapped the Marquis Elmdor de Limberry. And I have to say his entire name every time we talk about him for some reason. Speak. If not you, then on whom would you pin the deed? It was Gustav. Who is Gustav? Gustav Margriff. Lieutenant Commander of the Dead Men. So the Corpse Brigade was behind the kidnapping. No, we're not like Gustav. We fight to end the aristocracy, not to become it. Be treated as equals, as the men of honor we are. What do maggots know of honor? That's enough, Argith. Stop kicking him in the face! So where is this Gustav? In the Sandrat Siege. Sandrat? I don't like Sandrats. You are not of Gallion. Small wonder you've not heard of them. Sandrats are unique to the Zeklis Desert, north of Dorter. Quizzical look. Do any villages lie between here and the desert? Villages? No. At least not anymore, but the Desert Men once had a settlement on the outskirts, and its ruins remain. Then that's where we'll find Gustav and the Marquis. Aye, like as not. How can you be so certain? The Siege is a Sandrat's burrow, his home. Quizzical look. Well done, Argith. You really established yourself as a bit of a dumbass in that sequence. But we managed to get some cool stuff. Take a look at our gear. And then we will wrap up and move on to the next episode. I think Hempen Robe is only available to the Knight class. Or the Dragoon. Then what else did I get? Oh, the Iron Sword. Right, so honestly I don't care about these two. I'm just gonna remove their equipment. Little bit of a spoiler, but anybody in your party who is labeled guest at the top left there, they will eventually leave, and when they leave, they will take their equipment with them. So, I don't remember exactly when it's going to happen, but I want to keep that stuff I gave them, so I'm just taking it now. Oh, it was a buckler. Buckler and an iron sword. Well, you could equip the buckler. Alright, so we did it. And I will see you guys in the Zeklis Desert as we investigate the Sandrat Siege. But first, we're going to visit the merchant city of Dorter. See you guys next episode.